Hello everyone, we are sewing a zipper and fly in this video. The first step for making a zipper in pants is to create a fly and zipper facing pieces. In order to do that, we need to first make this internal line which look like a J shape. We call this J stitch in pants. We need to make this shape in our pants. If you have an actual pant that you know the measurement, you can follow that. But here I just follow the shape from the photo and create the J stitch on this side of the pant. By selecting the center front line, I right click and set as internal line for 1.5 inch. I think is good, and I don't extend it either. Now I see that it's very low. I bring this point holding shift up, and I want to add the hook by internal polygon tool or G, hold control and finish it here. Make the shape better. I see I can move this point up, and then I use my smooth curve, or first I actually use edit curvature tool. Make this a bit more square because in my photo it was more square. Now I want to connect these two lines together. I hold shift and by edit pattern tool select both and join overlapping points. Now I can extend this point, extend trim and add point to pattern outline. Same here, so that it's not going outside my pattern. And this point I can smooth with the smooth curvature tool. I click on first point, last point, and then I click on the blue point. Then I press enter. Now that I'm happy with the shape of my J stitch, I can select this point and convert them to curve by maintaining curve. I need to also add this internal line to other side because later we need it for making the zipper facing. And fly. So I select the line, Control C, and select this pattern and choose the mirror paste option and put it on the same spot we had on the other side. Just make sure you extend it to the pattern outline. Good. Now we want to create our fly pieces. The fly is a rectangle shape piece, so you can create it by tool, create rectangle with the width of 1.5, same as your J stitch width, and the length you should follow this length. So I need to check first before making my fly. This length is 5.9. So I create my rectangle with a height of 5.9 and width of 1.5. Okay. So this is my fly piece. But the fly piece is usually folded and the bottom edge has a slant point, if you had noticed in your own pants. So you can move this point 1/4 to 3/8 up, and then select this line and unfold it. Now it looks more like a fly. Also add an internal line here because later you wanna fold it. So this is our fly piece. Creating the zipper facing is very easy because it's just tracing this line, this line, this line, right click, trace as pattern, and you have your zipper facing. The next important part is to know which part of your pant comes over on top of the other side. By looking at this image, I see my left side as wearer is coming over to the right side. Usually I write this down on my pattern as an annotation so that I don't mix it up. It's very important. So first of all, I turn on my annotation, and I see on my waistband I already put right side as wearer, that this side is the button side, or the side that usually button is sewn. And I bring also to my right side. This pattern is on the right side of the wearer, so I put the button here. And this side is the buttonhole side, or the overlap side. We can put overlap or buttonhole. Make it smaller. This will be helpful when you want to sew the zipper and fly and know which side is going over the other side. Okay, now that we defined that point, we can start sewing. For sewing the zipper, first we need to open this center front line. But if we do that, the pants is going to fall off our body form. So what we can do is to put some pins on top of waistband to hold our pants where we want to be. For the pin, look into this icon and pin box and put your pin on top of your waistband, like so. I'm clicking and dragging a box to put my pins. Okay, I think I put enough pins. And now if I open my center front sewing with edit sewing tool and delete this line of sewing, and then I simulate, my pant won't fall down completely, only the center front line will be open. For sewing zipper, we need only this part to be open, so we can keep the J stitch or a center front line below the J stitch closed. So with a free sewing tool, I sew this part together and keep it closed. Okay. Now for sewing the zipper, First, I need to extend my pattern on the button side, 1/4 or 3/8. I'm choosing 1/4 now, and with edit pattern tool, I select this line and offset pattern outline and put 1/4 and press OK. The reason we are doing this, if you have seen in your pants, usually zipper is sewn a little bit in front of the center front line on right side in this case, for example, and it will be sewn a little bit inside on the other side, so that the left side of pant in this case would cover the zipper on the other side. That's why we are adding 1/4 piece here, 1/4 here, and we will be sewing our zipper 1/2 inch inside on the other side to cover the zipper. Now that I have extended 1/4 on this side, I also need to extend it on my waistband, because they are sewn together and they need to have same measurement. I offset pattern line here as well, 1/4. And I need to fix my sewing too, because my sewing is up to here. Now that I have extended my sewing, this should also get extended to the blue point. Okay. Looks good. Okay. Now I start by sewing my fly to the button side. With section sewing tool, I sew this line to this line, and here on the 3D window, oh, my pieces are fall down. So, or fell down actually. Right click them and reset 2D arrangement. I can freeze this one for now. And the other one, I strengthen it because later I want to fold it. And now that I have sewn one seam, I can use the superimpose function. I put it superimpose side. I can also hide my avatar because it's not helping. Simulate. Okay. I can sew this upper edge to my extended part of waistband now. With free sewing tool, I start from center front line to fold line, and here can also sew that, simulate, and since this have to go inside, I can try to bring it inside first, or I think if I fold it, it will come inside anyway. So I use the fold tool, click on this line, bring this line together, and make sure my folding angle is 0. And simulate. Okay, now I can sew rest of lines on my fly together with the section sewing tool. This part I can sew and make sure it's turned. This two part I can sew, again turned, and this part also I can sew together and turn. Okay, now my fly looks good. Now I can go to my zipper facing. Before I start sewing, I want to first draw the line I want to sew the zipper on. You remember we extended this line on the other side by quarter. If you extend your line by quarter, draw your internal line here ½ inch from center front line. But if you had extended 3/8, do it 3/4. I extended quarter, so I get this line, right click and offset as internal line by ½ inch. And I click on extend because I don't want to go over my pattern line. So as you see, this line is the center front line and this line is the line where we want to sew the zipper. And this whole piece should be sewn to this side. We can start by sewing the curve with free sewing tool. We sew this part together. Then we can use the superimpose function on 3D window. First unfreeze it. Superimpose under. Then we simulate. It is sewn already. And we can also sew the center front line together as well. Today I start with this line. That would be more helpful. Make sure this line is turned. Also the top part I can sew together. Okay. Now we can start sewing the zipper by zipper tool. We started on the bottom side and from top to bottom on this extended line. First we click on the upper point, one click, and then double click on the last point. And then we go to our zipper facing. And on the blue point we double click. Then we need to simulate. Oh. I think because my fly is sitting outside, creating a problem. So let me delete my zipper first with edit zipper tool. I remove it for now. Try to bring my fly inside. Okay. And check line is sewn. Okay, now it seems my fly is sitting inside. So I try again. Okay, now is looking better. Now we can remove our pins. Delete all pins. And also one more thing I want to do is to turn this line to baseline, because we don't need it anymore. Convert to baseline. We need our internal line only on left side, because then we want to add the top stitch to it. And simulate again. Okay, now that we remove the pins, it looks better. This part we need to close, so we can sew it with free sewing tool from here to here, from here to here. Another point I want to add is that usually the zipper facing and fly are fused with interfacing, so we can also add that in CLO by clicking on this, going to property editor, and in bond escape, click on the bond. You see that here the preset is common fusible. It can be changed if you want, but for now fusible common is okay. If you see your pocket bags are not keeping inside, one thing you can do is to sew them to the pocket bag. First, you need to create the sewing line on the pocket bag, because you see this line is 7 3/4 and this line is smaller because we had extended this by 1 inch. So we can extend this line as an internal line and make sure you are extending it to the pattern outline. Offset as internal line, reverse the direction. Now if I with a free sewing tool, this line should be sewn to this part, and this part to this. Okay. Oh no, I did it reverse, sorry. See, it's a bit tricky. So again, we do it from, delete this line. Okay, we are sewing this line, and from inside the pattern we can see if we are sewing it right. Should be to this part, yes. The best thing is looking at the 3D sample so that you know you're sewing it to the right parts. Okay. Then I press simulate. Okay, now I see my pocket bags are going inside nicely. This side was very nice. This part needs a little bit of work, but looks better if you sew it. Okay, overall looks good. Now we can continue by adding our internal waistband, bell loop, and buttonhole in next video.